Hey guys, I wanted to go over some succession planting, but first I want to show you what's going on behind me. We got our driveway all done and it came out incredible, a lot better than I anticipated, and we had to do a lot of work on the on the gravel once he dumped it, because he kind of dumped it a little oddly, but I'll show you how it came out. It came out rad. Stoked. So we were initially just going to do like two aisles coming up this way and then go into one over here, but I was like, we need kind of a turnaround from over here, like to back in and then come out. So the last minute I was thinking, let's get some poured over on this side and then we'll kind of spread it. So that's what he did. He kind of initially went up this way and then came back and brought some over here and came back again and brought it some more right here. So it was enough to spread over this way and also get up to the entry point. So it came out really good. Really pleased with it. And it took some doing to get the everything all spread, because even over here it was kind of light, and so we had to do some spreading over here. He went really thick on this part over here, so we had to spread it further that way to get it to the point where it evenly starts. I had to explain how we wanted to get it done. So now what we want to do is put wood chips in this area and try to prevent these weeds from coming up on the side of the house here. So that's kind of the plan at this point. We'll slowly get there, and then the carport, we're gonna have a 2-car carport going over this way. So that's the further plan. Now it's off to doing and showing succession planting, which is going quite well. So the importance of succession planting is to constantly have a flow of a particular type of crop. So you don't know exactly how. It's kind of a guessing game, but you could pretty much generalize how it's going to work out by how you first seed your first crop to the next crop. So we can always have a crop going. Once the first crop bolts and is on its way out, then you already have another crop that is ready to go and pretty much ready to harvest. It should be ready to harvest, but sometimes you may have to wait a week, or hopefully not 2, but a week at the most. So for stuff like arugula, radish, those are going to be quick yielding crops, 20 to 30 days to harvest. Now you always have to think about what time of year, because the heat plays a big role in your germinating. If you plan to do any seeding like the way I do it, I like to direct seed. Of course, if you want to jumpstart that, you can do all of your starts and have them pretty much ready to go, so you're going to be that much far ahead with starts. Me, I like to direct seed, and it seems to work out for me anyways, for direct seeding. As you can see, the kale's coming up quite well now, so I'm at a point now to where I have to succession that in another bed outside here. So that's where I'm at with the kale as well, but that doesn't take it's not quite as short. It's a longer crop to grow. It's going to be more like 40 days. 40-45 days. So I have some more time to do that one, but it's definitely in the plans for succession with these next few beds that I'm going to be planting right now. So with the succession of, with the germinating of the arugula over there, I've already got some arugula planted here in this bed, which is already germinating. I'm going to have at least probably 3 beds for succession, and that would get me a good amount of beds to work with and to keep that germination and flow of my crop constantly going. So that's where that one's at. We've got some other stuff starting to germinate, which is the beet greens, which I'm probably gonna do some succession planting as well with that. So we've got very little germination going on with the beet greens that I plan on harvesting, like a lot better taste than chard, which is the same family. I'm hearing white chard is a lot sweeter, so I might just do like I saw one video that showed they did a center row of the rainbow chard, and then the outside was the white chard, so you get a good variety. So I think that's how I want to go ahead and plant some chard. I've been kind of waiting on it because, chard is good and all, but I don't need to grow a lot of it because, the beet greens are going to keep me going for a while. As you can see, I've cleared enough room for 4 more beds on this side, and the plans are to get some of that cabbage over here out and put in one bed so I can have 2 beds of cabbage, because we've got too much smothered in that first bed over there. So that's the way that's going to go. I'm going to probably put some other type of cabbage, the green type of cabbage, and then we're going to do the 3 sisters in another bed, another succession. So it's going to be maybe the last bed of corn, but this other one is going to be red Russian kale, which is going to be the succession of this bed over here. Because I like to succession plant certain things, this is working for me. This is for my content and for what I like and my family likes. Of course, you can do succession planting with other products and other types of crops. I certainly need to also consider my lettuce. So once this goes out over here, I'll probably rotate my crops. So I'll put maybe the lettuce over here. I'll have to switch over this shade cloth to the other side, and then do some succession planting with more lettuce on that side. Now, this particular bed with the radish, I'm going to crop out all that radish, and then I'll have the kale, the larger kale, still inside there, and that'll be in there for a while. I'll have that perhaps for a month to 2 months, just of cropping out, but they're going to get to a certain height, and then I'm going to keep that at the certain height and break off the leaves as I go. But we would need them to be a minimum of like 2 feet high to start cropping off. I might do maybe just some taste tests as I go along, just to see how it's doing. But to crop out that winterborn kale, it's going to have to be a certain height. As you can see, the wind has been blowing this shade cloth in here, but I probably will not put another crop inside here with the kale. It's probably just going to sit alone after I pull out all that. But I'm just going to pull out as I go, as I need it, the radish. So That's how that's going to work for me, and that's kind of a good way to do it and keep the shade on the bed, the dirt. So that's what we need. We need to constantly shade this out for water to stay in the soil. I mentioned wind earlier. The wind is going to totally dry out the top surface of your soil, so you need to constantly have that wet. And I'm doing quite a bit of watering, so it's taking a lot of time to do that. And after these crops are really nice and thick, I'll be able to not water as much. So I hope you like that content. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, please put them below, and I'll certainly answer those as I can. All right, you guys have a good day, and I hope you enjoy.